There are loved ones in the glory whose dear forms you often miss when you close your earthly story. Will you join them in their bliss? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by, in a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
So you're moving again?
It's easier to move than to clean my house.
Well, I guess you have a point there, Betty.
It's my mother's fault.
Why? Was she messy?
No, neat as a pin. But she had maids.
Maids?
That's the problem. I was always told that housework was something only maids do. But no one bothered to tell me it was the maids wouldn't follow me when I left home.
Billy, we're going to be late.
I know.
I thought you were inside.
You told me to get the car warmed up.
I forgot.
Are you all right?
Of course. Come on, I told your grandmother we'd be there in time for lunch.
The house wouldn't be so messy if it wasn't for Willie's stupid pets.
Well, he only has a parakeet.
I know, but the thing talks so much. Every time I try to clean, it starts babbling and I go crazy. I have to leave.
Well, Betty, why don't you get rid of it?
Because Willie won't let me.
Well, that never stopped you before.
I tried to get rid of it once. I bought this cat and I locked it in the basement for about a week without any food. Then one day I let the cat go in the kitchen with the birdcage open.
Betty!
Came back an hour later and I found the cat on the floor with the parakeet next to it. The stupid thing had sung it to sleep.
Betty, would you like some coffee?
Yeah. All this work has tired me out. I don't know where you get all the energy.
Well, Betty, I like a clean house.
So do I. I guess that's why I like visiting you. Phew, what is that stuff? It stinks.
It's Lysol. Don't you ever use it?
For what?
Well, it cleans the air of odors.
No. If our house smells, I usually use Chaps cologne. Willie gets it from my mother every Christmas and refuses to use it. So I just spray a little here and a little there and wherever else I haven't cleaned.
Well, that explains a lot, Betty.
I called David. He'll be here about 6 o'clock.
Mom, forget it.
You'll like Coventry. It's a good school.
What time do you expect Jill and Billy?
Any time now, Betty.
Oh, then I best be going.
What time is dinner tomorrow?
Dinner?
Thanksgiving. Don't you remember it's your time to have it this year?
Oh, of course. How about noon?
Noon?
3?
3?
6.
You forgot, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I swear. I've been baking since Halloween.
Halloween?
I gotta run.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi there. How are you?
Okay.
Oh, good to see you. It's good to see you.
Hi, Mom.
Come on in.
I'll put these upstairs.
Because the kids are here. Oh, you just missed Betty.
How is she?
Well, she's about the same. A little crazier, I guess.
I didn't think that was possible.
Well, she's selling her house because she doesn't want to clean it.
That house stinks of Chap's cologne.
How was the ride up?
Fine. Traffic wasn't too bad.
What time is David coming?
About 6:30.
Does Billy seem interested in Coventry?
Why do you think I asked David to come out here?
Well, I was just wondering whether it might have been more your idea than his.
I won't deny I'd be very happy if he chose Coventry. It's a good school, but in the end, the choice is his.
Good.
Don't worry, Mom. I want Billy to have the same freedoms you gave me.
Without the hassles from your father.
I didn't say that. Speaking of Dad, where is he?
Your dad's sleeping.
At this hour? Whatever happened to early to bed, early to rise?
Well, he's sick, Jill. I wanted to tell you earlier, but he didn't want me to tell anyone.
Has he seen a doctor? Well, he hasn't changed, has he?
Yes, he's changed. I mean,
I know what you meant. So what's wrong with him?
he's sick, Jill. He's tired, he doesn't eat, he won't sleep, and all he does is take milk of magnesia.
Is it an ulcer?
Jill, I really don't know. I don't know.
Grandpa said he'd be down for lunch.
So what do you want for lunch?
Is it all right if I eat later? Jimmy Edwards is home from the Marines, and I want to catch him before he goes out.
Sure.
Jimmy Edwards in the Marines? I can't believe that.
Why?
I didn't think his mother'd let him do something like that.
Well, maybe she didn't have a say in it. I'll see you later.
Jill, he's such a good kid.
Yeah, he is.
Well, his friends have been calling and wondering when he's going to come in. They miss him.
He misses them. I think he wants to move back.
Talk about this Thanksgiving deal. What am I going to serve?
Well, what about all that stuff you've been baking since Halloween?
I burnt it.
Oh, that's a great answer. I have a wonderful idea. I'll do the cooking, and you can set the table.
Oh, what a wonderful idea. Who's going to do the dishes?
I got the post and clothing. Why don't you go see Jill?
Hello, Jill.
Oh, Betty, what's new?
Did you hear I'm moving?
Yes, where to?
I'm not sure. Willie wants to buy a farm, but I want to move to the city.
Oh, it sounds like a move that could improve your marriage.
That's what Willie said when I told him I'd die if we moved to a farm.
Does he like animals?
Like them? He loves them. Which reminds me, Emma! Do you need anything from the store?
Yes, some milk.
I'll pick it up for you. I've got an errand to do before I forget again.
What was that all about?
You've got me. I'm going to go check on your father.
Want me to do anything?
Yes. Would you get the good silverware out? I think we're going to use it tomorrow. Oh, he's fine. Jill, what are you looking at?
A picture of Nicky in the Marines.
Oh, Jill, I forgot that picture was there. That was such a long time ago.
He chose Vietnam,
He was your brother.
and I was his sister. Good morning.
Morning.
What would you like for breakfast?
I'm not hungry.
That's what you always say, and then 5 minutes later,
Well, just bring me something for my stomach.
I'll be right back.
That wasn't very nice.
She's my wife.
Well, then why don't you treat her that way?
Words of advice from a divorced woman?
I'm going for a walk.
You didn't have to talk to her like that. She was not trying to attack you.
She doesn't have to attack. First she hugs you, then she sticks daggers in your back.
That's my daughter you're talking about.
I didn't know Dan was still our mailman. I thought he retired a long time ago.
Well, he didn't.
Well, he shouldn't be delivering mail. How old is he?
Maybe 8 years younger than me, I think. Maybe 9. And it's hard to remember when you get to my age. Oh, I didn't mean that the way it sounded.
I know.
How's work?
Fine.
What do you do?
I work with troubled teens.
What do you do with it?
We try to keep them out of trouble
Oh,
by showing someone cares.
you mustn't make much.
I'm not in it for the money.
Of course not. Well, what'd you think of the elections?
I don't want to fight.
Who said anything about fighting? I just want to carry on a normal conversation with you. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, it's just that whenever we start talking about politics, we always get into a fight.
It's just because you're so darn radical.
I don't want to fight again.
Do you think the Democrats will ever make a comeback? I don't know. I really think they blew it. How they thought any fool could vote for such a ticket is beyond me. Why, those two had mafia written all over them.
This fool believed in them.
They were crooks.
Oh, that was never proven.
Her husband cheated.
Oh, her husband wasn't running.
She knew, they all knew. The only difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is that the Republicans don't try to hide their love of power and money, but that the Democrats do.
That isn't so.
Look at the Kennedys.
Oh, you always get around to the Kennedys.
They're all crooks and murderers.
Oh, that's just a lot of slander and lies.
Face it, Joe. Yours is a lost generation, led astray by the worst that society ever had to offer.
I'm so glad to know that Willie and I are the only ones who fight.
We weren't fighting. We were just having an educated debate.
Educated debate. I like that. I'd use it if I had a different husband.
Oh, Betty, what are you doing back so soon? Did you fly?
No, I went the speed limit all the way.
Well, it's just an expression.
Well, I wasn't speeding.
Did you get stopped?
Yes. But I wasn't speeding, and I didn't try to come on to the cop. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to change the subject.
Is this my milk?
Yes.
I'll get you the money. Where did you get all this Lysol?
Bought. I bought the Lysol. I didn't steal it, and I wasn't speeding away from the scene of the crime, and I didn't try to make a pass at the officer. Forget it.
She'll need a couple of cans to kill the smell of the chaps in that house.
All right, I forgot to pay, but it was a mistake. Never mind.
you thinking of, Jill?
Did I tell Billy what time to be home?
I think so. Why? Is he late?
No, he isn't late. He's never late, or rude, or irresponsible.
No, he is a good kid.
Yes, but I think he's working too hard at the garage. I try to tell him that, but he won't listen to me.
Well, isn't it great that he likes it?
Yes, but he wants to go to Coventry. I mean, he says he wants an education.
Yes, he does, Jill. I'm coming.
Hello, Mrs. Jackson. You haven't changed a bit.
Well, you sure have. Come on in. I'll tell Jill you're here.
David!
Jill, how nice to see you.
David, it's good to see you.
But I didn't think you were supposed to be here until 6:30.
What? My secretary told me 4.
Well, it's all right, but Billy won't be here yet.
I'll call him. He'll be home in a jiffy.
No, you better let me do that, Mom. Otherwise, he'll think that I'm letting you do my dirty work.
Oh, I think I'll have the iron on. Henry, why don't you tell David to come in and sit down?
Would you like to sit down, or would you rather stand?
I'll sit, thank you.
You know what I don't understand? Why women ask their husbands to ask somebody to do something that they could have asked them themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes, my first wife used to do that to me all the time.
Well, it's a good thing I turned the iron off, because one of these days I'm going to burn the house down.
Yes, you need to get one of those ones that shuts itself off.
So Jill tells me that you're working in admissions in Coventry.
Oh, not exactly. I haven't told Jill yet, but I've been promoted to vice president.
Vice President? Henry, did you hear that? He's Vice President.
Yes, I heard him. I'm not deaf. At least I don't think I am. Say, aren't you the kid that had the long hair down to his shoulder and beads down to the floor?
The beads weren't that long, but yes, that was me.
So you're finally growing up, seeing the light of day and listening to your parents?
Henry, don't you have something else to do in the other room?
Well, if you get bored, come into the other room, and we can talk about how you got rid of that first wife of yours.
I'm sorry, David.
It's all right, I'm used to it.
Well, I got a hold of him. He'll be home shortly. Is that all right?
Well, I do have another meeting, but let's see what happens.
Oh, David, if you'll please excuse me, I have work to do.
I was looking through our old yearbooks and remembering all the good times we'd had. Has it changed?
Yes, but as vice president, I'd have to say it's changed for the better.
Vice President? You didn't tell me that.
It happened a few weeks ago.
Oh, I wouldn't have bothered you if I'd known that.
Anything for an old friend.
Think of all the changes you could make.
I can't do all that much. Besides, Coventry's changed enough since we were there.
Well, I'll bet it has.
So, tell me about Billy.
Well, he's almost 19, and he looks just like me.
I'm afraid his looks won't get him into Coventry. 19. Then he's finished high school.
Yes.
What's he doing now?
Well, he's working at a garage. He said he'd like to take some time off before he decided what he wanted to do.
And now he wants to go on to college.
Yes.
What's he want to major in?
He's not sure.
What are his interests?
Well, he likes working with his hands. You know, like working with motors and cars.
Something along the line of what he's doing at the garage.
Yes. No. He wants a good education.
Does he know that Coventry is a liberal arts college?
Yes.
And he still wants to apply?
Yes. Why the third degree?
I'm sorry, Jill. It's just that I've seen so many of my old friends send their kids to college.
I'm not sending him. He may not be thrilled about the idea now, but I know he'll like it. He'll get used to it.
Has he looked into a technical school?
I want my son to go to a real school. He'll like Coventry. I know he will.
We'll see what happens when we talk.
I don't know where he is.
Jill, I'm gonna have to be going pretty soon.
Not yet. We haven't talked about us.
Yes. How are things going with you?
Fine.
What are you doing?
Well, I work for the state.
Doing what?
I'm working with troubled teens.
That's very commendable. You mustn't get paid much. I hope Ben has a good job.
He does, but we're divorced.
Oh. Where's he now?
In California. He's with his second wife and her children.
Oh.
So, how are you and Sarah?
Divorced. I'm remarried to a wonderful woman.
That's nice.
What did you think of the elections?
Oh, what a joke!
I know, but you know, I think the Republicans will do a okay job.
Oh, you must be joking!
No.
I don't know where Billy is.
Jill, I have to leave if I'm going to make my other appointment.
Well, I'm sorry for having you have to travel all the way out here for nothing.
It wasn't for nothing. We had a good talk, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I'll leave something for Billy from the college. I'll call him later on.
Thank you for coming. That'll be fine.
Bye now.
Did I miss David?
Yes, he left a short while ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wasn't your fault.
Mom, are you all right?
You sure you want to go to Coventry?
Yeah, well, I want to look into it.
I'm not forcing you.
No.
You know how much this means to me.
Yeah, I know.
I love you.
I love you too.
We used to have a lot of cows here. Your Uncle Nicky used to take care of them. The horses belonged to your mother.
Well, that must have been nice.
It was. It was the way it was supposed to be.
Grandpa, why didn't my mother go to Nicky's funeral?
Well, if I remember correctly, she said it would be like her putting a stamp of approval to the war, or something like that. Why did you ask?
Well, don't say anything, because I'm still thinking this through. But I don't want to go to Coventry. I really want to join the Marines.
The Marines? That's terrific. Not as good as the Navy, but it's still all right with me.
You were in the Navy?
I fought in the Second World War.
Well, what about Uncle Nicky?
No. He was in the Marines.
What do you think my mother would do if I joined the Marines?
Well, Billy, if joining the Marines is something you must do, you go ahead and do it. Your Uncle Nicky knew how your mother felt, but it was his duty. You know, a man's got to be true to his beliefs, or otherwise he's not a man.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. I'm your grandfather, aren't I?
Oh, are you all right?
I'm fine. It's nothing.
Well, maybe you should go inside and sit down.
No. I just need something for my stomach, that's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go in and get it.
Don't you say anything to your grandmother about this.
What are you doing down here?
I couldn't sleep.
Is it your stomach again?
I just took something for it.
Honey, I think you should go see a doctor.
You know how I feel about hospitals.
I didn't say anything about a hospital.
Doctors, hospitals, they're all the same. They're only after your money.
Yes, but what if it's really serious?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, isn't it nice to have Jill and Billy with us for the holidays, Henry?
Hey, that Billy's a nice kid.
And so is Jill.
Emma, you try too hard.
Not hard enough.
This isn't your fault.
Isn't it?
It's life.
What is it they say about New England? If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. You're up early.
I couldn't sleep. How could I with all that noise going on?
Bothers you that much coming back here?
It's just too many memories.
Any of Nicky?
What?
Did you love Nicky?
He was my brother.
You never talk about him. What kind of relationship did you guys have?
We weren't the best of friends, but we got along.
You didn't agree with his stand on the war, though.
No.
But you loved him.
Yes.
So why didn't you go to his funeral?
Oh.
Well, you said you loved him, so why didn't you go?
Because I didn't believe in Vietnam. I told him if he went, I'd disown him. It was blackmail in a way, but all my friends were doing it. And when he died, I didn't care what my friends were thinking about anymore. I just wanted to go to his funeral and beg his forgiveness.
So what stopped you?
Pride and anger. When I saw how your grandfather was acting, when I saw how cold he was to me, I couldn't go. I think he blamed me for Nicky's death, me and my friends. I think he thought that Nicky wouldn't have died if we'd only supported the war.
So it was Grandpa. Mom, what would you do if I didn't want to go to Coventry?
Well, what college do you want to go to?
Well, what if I didn't want to go to college? What if I wanted to join the Marines?
Don't even think about that.
Well, what if I were thinking of it?
Billy, you know I'd support you in anything, but please, not this.
Even if it's my duty?
How can violence be a duty?
Well, Grandpa...
Oh, Grandpa! Your grandfather put you up to this?
No, we talked.
This is just like him.
This has nothing to do with him.
I doubt that. He's manipulated you like he's manipulated everybody else.
Oh, come on, Mom.
No! I won't have it. I won't let him do this. We're leaving.
Well, can I explain?
No, please, Billy, don't argue. Just get your things together.
Henry, what did you say to Billy?
I haven't seen Billy.
What did you say to him yesterday that made Jill so upset?
If you're referring to the talk we had yesterday, Billy asked my advice, and I gave it him. Now, if Jill doesn't like that, then that's her problem.
Henry, do you hate your daughter?
How can you ask me that?
Well, she thinks you do.
And what about you?
Well, I never used to.
And now?
Well, I can't understand why you always have to fight with her.
Emma, it takes two to fight.
But Henry, she's your daughter. You should try to get along with her, but no, you always make matters worse. Why?
I don't hate Jill, but I can't say that I love her.
But Henry, she's your daughter.
And we're two different people. All we seem to agree upon is disagreeing.
Well, can't you work at agreeing?
Emma, there's principles at stake.
And are principles more important than your daughter?
Yes. It's more than just the principles. It's Nicky.
Nicky?
Jill makes me feel as though Nicky died in shame. That he did something wrong and should be forgotten.
But Henry, that was a long time ago.
I know, but every time we talk, she takes on this holier-than-thou attitude, and...
And what?
And I feel as if I agreed with Jill, it would be like turning my back on him. Everyone's turned their back on him, and I just can't do that.
Henry, agreeing with Jill isn't turning your back on Nicky. Do you think Nicky would want you at odds with each other?
There's still the principles.
Will principles take care of you when I'm gone? Bye.
Bye, Grandma. You too.
Jill, can't we talk this out?
It's no use. I'll call next week.
Okay.
In a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
Henry, you're not eating much.
I'm not hungry.
Well, I hope the rain stops soon. Maybe we'll have a white Christmas, Henry.
You can picture happy gatherings round the fireside long ago, and you think of tearful partings when they left you here below.
I always thought retirement was a time to remember the joys of life. I never wanted much. Just a modest home, a good job, and just enough money to get by on.
You better rest.
Do you have a family?
Just my dad.
My father died a long time ago. He was a wise man. He always said that you can tell a great deal about a man by looking at his hands. These hands. These hands used to toss my son up in the air over and over again and catch him when he was a little tyke. And then they closed the lid on his coffin. They used to tie little ribbons in my princess's hair. My princess, whose face they slapped, the treason she spoke against my country. My country that took my son away from me. Sometimes I feel like crying. But my father always says, and men don't.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by, in a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
I'm so glad you're home. I need to talk to you about Christmas Eve.
What about it?
Well, do you want to have it at your house or at mine?
I don't care.
Well, then why don't we have it at your house, because it's always so clean.
That's fine.
Okay, then.
What's this?
It's my garbage.
Why didn't you leave it at the curb?
Because I was throwing it at the geese.
What geese?
The ones that are in my garden, I was trying to chase them out.
Where did they come from?
From my garage. When Willie discovered that the buyers backed out and we weren't going to move to a farm, he decided to turn our home into one
Betty, the buyers backed out.
when they smelled the Lysol.
The Lysol?
It's not as safe as you think. It killed the parakeet.
Well, that's impossible. You only use a little bit.
Not when your house smells like Chaps cologne.
Oh, no. How much?
Well, you know those 10 bottles I bought?
You didn't.
I'll tell you, you don't know how lucky you are to have this place to yourself. Emma, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
I know you didn't.
Sometimes I open my mouth and my feet run in.
Betty, please. You've made me laugh for the first time in a long time.
You haven't put your tree up yet.
I know. I'm waiting for Jill and Billy. I thought it would be nice if we could all put it up together.
When do you expect them?
Anytime now.
Well, I better get the geese back into the garage. If they haven't frozen to death by now, they're never going to. Back to the drawing board.
Betty, thanks.
You take care.
Hey, Betty!
Mom?
Oh, you're just in time for lunch.
We already had lunch.
What?
Yeah, we stopped at McDonald's on the way here.
McDonald's? You coming to my house and you stopped at McDonald's?
Well, we were hungry.
Oh, of course you were hungry. And that's why I've been baking since yesterday. Don't you like my cooking?
You know that isn't true.
Yeah, Grandma, your cooking's the best. Actually, anything is compared to Mom's.
That's gratitude. I raised you for 19 years, and what do I get? Complaints. Wait till you go to college, then you'll see what really crummy cooking is.
Yeah, college. I'll take the bags upstairs.
Oh, Billy, Bob Hunt called. Wants you to call him as soon as you come in.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Has he thought any more what he wants to do?
He's going to Coventry.
So he's decided.
Well, yes, sort of.
Has he filled out an application yet, Jill?
No, I called David. He's going to be dropping one off tonight.
You want some coffee, Jill?
Sure.
So, how's work going?
Not too well. Everyone's afraid the new budget cuts are going to close us down.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I think they can probably find the money from somewhere else.
Are you all right, Jill?
It's just been a long week.
I know what you mean.
Mom, you'll never guess who joined the Air Force. Bob Hunt.
Bob joined the Air Force?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either.
Where are you going?
Well, I'm going over to his house. Is that all right?
Yeah, just be back in time for dinner.
Sure, no problem.
Can't believe how many kids are throwing their lives away and going into the services.
But Jill, Bob is just one kid.
At Thanksgiving, it was Jim. I can't believe these are the children of the women I protested the draft with. I don't think they'd allow it.
But Jill, they're grown men.
They're 18.
And in our society, that means they're men.
Well, it shouldn't.
You sound just like your father.
No, I don't.
How easy you forget, Jill. I remember your father saying the exact same things about your friends when you were Billy's age.
It isn't the same.
Isn't it?
No, you always did side with him.
According to him, I sided with you. You know, the two of you are more alike than you ever realized. Enough of that. Would you like a blueberry muffin?
Mom? I'm sorry I didn't come to the funeral.
I understand.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
I know.
I love you.
But not him?
No.
I understand.
As we were driving up here, I was thinking about the way we used to do things when we were kids. You know how the whole house used to be decorated?
And you and Nicky would start the day after Thanksgiving.
The big event would be when we used to go get the tree. We'd fight for hours over which one to get.
And Nicky liked to get all the big ones, but then he couldn't put them through the front door.
Oh, Dad'd cut off the top, and then he'd cut off the bottom, and then finally he'd give it one big shove and cram it in. He made such a fuss about it.
Well, he loved it. He would step back and say, "Look at my son and look at my daughter." He was very proud, and you were his little princess.
When I was little. Remember the year you bought the artificial tree?
And your brother was heartbroken.
He was heartbroken. I cried for hours. I couldn't believe we'd be the only family on their whole block without a real Christmas tree. It was devastating.
And if it hadn't been for Nicky, we'd probably still have the Christmas tree. And I'll never understand how he managed to cut that tree down and drag it from the front yard into the house. And your father, I thought he was going to kill him. It wouldn't have been so bad if he had chosen another tree, but to choose the one your father had spent years shaping. And that took an awful lot of spunk.
Boy, did Nicky get spanked that time.
I don't know what angered your father more, Nicky cutting the tree down or denying it.
Mom? Nicky didn't cut that tree down. I did.
No.
I hated that artificial tree. And I knew that if I cut it down, Nicky would get blamed.
And you sat by when your father nearly killed him?
I didn't think Dad would be so hard on his only son. Besides, it was kind of nice to see Nicky get punished once in a while.
You know, Jill, I always thought it was you. But your father said no. Not his little girl. You were such a delicate little thing.
I know.
Jill?
Did he love me?
You were his daughter.
Was his love that conditional?
I don't know how to answer that, Jill.
You just did. You said he loved me when I was little.
You were his princess.
And when I stopped being his princess, is that when the trouble began?
Well, Jill, you were different.
Yet so similar.
Yes, in many ways.
Then why didn't we get along?
You were always on the opposite side of things.
But I couldn't compromise my stand.
But that's what he said.
He didn't always agree with Nicky, but they got along.
You and your father used to disagree, but you did get along.
The fighting didn't start until
after Nicky's death. You know, the war was a very sensitive thing to your father.
It was wrong for us to be there.
He didn't agree.
If we weren't there, Nicky would be alive. Didn't Dad realize that?
The way you talked about the war made your father feel that Nicky died in shame.
He did, Mom.
Nicky died in a war that was none of our business.
So that meant your father's country betrayed him?
It was reality.
Your reality, Jill. You kept pushing it on him.
He pushed it on me.
And you were pushing it on each other.
What was I supposed to do?
You had to make a choice, Jill.
You know, I always knew there was a difference between Nicky and me. I remember sitting by the window one day, watching Dad and Nicky play ball. I thought, Dad loves him and is proud to have him as a son. But Dad only loves me because I'm his daughter. If he had to choose, he wouldn't pick me.
I don't think that's true.
Perhaps not. I forgot. I have to call Ben about Billy's Christmas present. I'll use the upstairs phone.
Why couldn't you? Why couldn't you? Was it my fault? Did I try to make her too much mine? Did that put you off? But you had Nicky. I thought. But maybe I didn't think.
Hey, Grandma.
Oh, hi, stranger. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Good. I'm making a big dinner.
Grandma, can we talk?
Talk? Don't like my cooking, is that it?
No. You know that's not it.
You haven't got someone pregnant, have you?
No.
Good. I'm not ready to be a great-grandma yet.
You don't have to worry about that.
Why? You're not gay, are you?
No, Grandma, I'm not gay. I don't want to go to Coventry.
I knew that.
I want to join the Marines.
Well, I didn't know that. And Billy, are you sure this is what you want to do?
I've known this for the longest time.
It's not a game, you know.
I know. I just don't know how to tell my mother.
I wish I could help.
Thanks.
You know, Billy, the Jewish people have a saying. If not now, when? Don't get her hopes up on Coventry.
Okay, you want to see some pictures of me?
Sure.
Okay. Here we are. Right there, treasure of the student body.
Whoa, you're bad looking.
Well, thanks a lot. You know, we did what we could. Okay, you want to see the senior picture? Okay, there we are. Huh?
Oh.
Yeah, looking off into the future. I know you see this car here belonged to Pat McGuire. I really liked Pat McGuire, except then she put an Isle of Reagan sticker on the back of her car, and I wouldn't ride in her car anymore after that. It's really true. And let's see, we got a few more in here. Let's see. I'm trying to. Oh, see this? I played the Lark. Remember Joan of Arc? That's not me though. The guy that played. Oh, there I am singing an anti-war song. Those are the guys that died in Vietnam. It was real important to us then.
It's beautiful here.
Yes, it is. David called. He won't be here till after dinner.
Mom, I don't want to go to Coventry.
I don't want to argue.
Neither do I.
He's only bringing an application.
That's not the point. I want to join the Marines.
Please, don't do this to me.
No, I'm doing this for myself.
You don't understand.
Well, what's there to understand, Mom? Rather than spending 4 years on a campus, I'll spend it on a base.
If you do it, it'll be just like your grandfather.
Grandpa? This has nothing to do with Grandpa.
All my life, I've had to fight him alone. I can take that. But what I can't take is you're siding with him.
Mom, I'm not siding with him.
Please.
I love you, Mom. But I have to do what I think is right.
I won't let you.
You can't stop me.
I'm your mother.
Listen to yourself. You're saying the same things Grandpa said to you.
They're not the same. I love you, and I won't let you throw your life away.
You can't stop me. When we get home, I'm joining the Marines.
One by one their seats were empty. One by one they went away. Now the family is parted. Will it become complete one day?
Billy,
Grandma, you didn't have to come.
what do you mean I didn't have to come? You're my grandson.
Yeah,
And listen, you take care of yourself.
I will.
And don't forget to write.
Oh, I won't. I love you.
I love you too. Bye-bye.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by, in a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
My mother told me about these dogs that didn't shed. Only I didn't think she said shed. I thought she said make fertilizer, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell Willie about them, and he thinks they're the greatest thing in the world. Expensive, but for a dog that didn't it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out and... Emma, let's talk about it.
Talk about what?
Whatever is on your mind. Is Jill here?
Yes, she came in late last night.
How's she doing?
Fine.
And Billy?
She hasn't talked to him since Christmas.
Oh, the poor kid.
Which one?
Emma?
Well, did you ever wish? I'd like to think that it was Nicky's death, but Henry said it was just life.
What bothers you more? What happened between father and daughter or mother and son?
Well, I can't separate it. It's one horrible circle. And I had hoped. I had tried.
You did everything you could.
No, I didn't, but I will.
Morning, Betty. Morning, Mom.
Morning, Jill. I might gotta get going.
Okay.
If you need anything, just call.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jill.
What would you like for breakfast, Jill?
I'm not hungry.
Well, that's what you always say. Then
I'm on a diet.
I haven't made any plans for today. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I don't think so.
How about taking a ride up the coast?
I'm not up to it. You go.
Jill, are you all right?
Just tired.
I thought it would be nice if we called Billy.
Not now.
Jill, it's Thanksgiving.
You try too hard.
Then why don't things change?
This isn't your fault.
What difference does it make whose fault it is? Why can't you call Billy?
He walked out.
Jill, he's your son.
He joined the Marines.
You protested the draft.
There are principles involved here.
There are human beings involved here.
And human beings live by principles.
One day you'll learn that principles without love are only vanities.
Mom, I can't let Dad win.
Jill, your father is dead.
No, he isn't. He's alive in Billy. I can't let him win. Not
Well-
this time.
Well, if you believe that, then he's already won. I'm coming.
Hello, Mrs. Jackson. Do you remember me?
How could I forget? Won't you come in? Would you like a cup of tea or coffee?
No, thank you.
I thought you had retired.
I did. Every now and then I get asked to do a special job.
Well, I only met you once, but I feel like I know you very well.
That's why they asked me. Is your daughter here?
Yes, she's here, but she's out shopping right now.
There's been an accident.
I know.
He is alive.
But
Billy asked that she be told in person, not over the phone.
I'll tell her.
Do you want me to stay?
No, thank you.
I'd suggest that she leave as soon as possible. Here's the information. The doctor is a good man.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry. Good day.
I thought I was gonna die. And you know what bothered me most? Was that you'd think that because we were different, that I didn't love you.
all right?
I think so.
Well, Willie's in the car.
Okay.
If you need anything, you just call.
Okay. Thanks. Jill, can I do anything?
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth. I know that.
Whoa, you're bad. You know what bothered me most? Is that you'd think that because we were different, that I didn't love you.
Oh, Jill.
I told myself I'd let my child be who he wanted to be.
I know.
He forgave me,
He loved you,
and I loved him.
and he was your child.
Then why didn't Dad love me?
It wasn't your fault, Jill. It's life. Don't let it destroy you.
How?
Forgive him.
Mom? I love you.
I love you too.
There are loved ones in the glory whose dear forms you often miss when you close your earthly story. Will you join them in their bliss? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by, in a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky, in the joyous days of childhood. pointed to the dying Savior. Now